Alexandra Kazarian here with Los Angeles Magazine. I'm an attorney, and let's break down Kanye West's crazy Super Bowl ad. Ladies and gentlemen, Kanye West has done it again, stirring up storm with his latest Super Bowl ad where he spent $8 million on a video that he recorded on his iPad of himself. The issue is his advertisement led people to a website for Yeezy, which as of right now only sells a white t-shirt emblazoned with a swastika. Who's on the hook for this? Was it a bold move or a stupid decision? Let's get into the chaos and see who's on the hook and how we can get out of it. Over the weekend, Kanye West paid $8 million for a 30-second ad during the Super Bowl. The ad itself wasn't controversial at all. Here it is.
So what's up, guys? I spent like all the money for the commercial on these new teeth. So once again, I had to shoot it on the iPhone. Go to Yeezy.com.
The ad directed viewers to his website, Yeezy.com. Consumers know that Yeezy.com is known for selling athleisure in neutral tones, matching sweatpants and sweatshirt sets. Nothing controversial at all about it. However, once the ad was played during the Super Bowl and people went to the Yeezy site, they were slapped in the face with the fact that the website now only sells a white t-shirt with a black swastika for $20. This was a huge issue. There's a difference between commercial speech and First Amendment protected speech. Kanye West, the man, could theoretically go out and wear a t-shirt with a swastika on it all he wants. Kanye West, the man, can go on Twitter or X or Instagram or anywhere he wants and talk about his affinity and love for swastikas, how he thinks Hitler is a great person, and Kanye West, the person, cannot be harmed, cannot be prosecuted by the government for that kind of speech. That's what free speech in America means. And free speech is protected as long as it's not threatening to a particular individual or as long as it does not incite violence. So Kanye West wearing a t-shirt with a swastika on it is protected by the First Amendment. However, a commercial aired on a national broadcast network that is promoting hate speech, which many people would be right by saying that a swastika is. Historically, a swastika is a symbol of the Nazi Party. It's a symbol of anti-Semitism, and it's a symbol of hate. Promoting hate speech on a commercial that is broadcast on TV is not protected by the First Amendment. Commercial speech is speech that proposes a commercial transaction, and he was promoting the Yeezy brand, which is a company that sells things. That kind of language, that's connected to selling something, is regulated much more than free personal speech. The government can regulate commercial speech if it's misleading or if it can lead to illegal activity, because there's a substantial government interest in regulating hate speech. The use of hate symbols, like a swastika, can be seen as promoting illegal activity if it's inciting violence or if it constitutes as hate speech itself. And even if the ad itself doesn't explicitly incite violence, the promotion of hate symbols in commerce can trigger regulatory scrutiny. Meaning, if he is promoting a symbol that leads to hate speech, then the government has an interest in regulating that and is allowed to take action. What kind of action does the government take against commercial hate speech? Well, that's where the FCC comes in. The FCC is the Federal Communications Commission, and it prohibits obscene, indecent, or profane content on public airways. Obscenity is not protected by First Amendment issues. So if somebody is going around making what they feel like is protected First Amendment speech, but it's obscene, that is also not regulated and not allowed and can be regulated by the government. Indecent or profane content is restricted on TV, especially during times when children are likely to be watching, like the Super Bowl. So, Super Bowl ads have to be regulated by the networks, and they have to be approved by the networks before they can air. So, who can be on the hook here? Well, if the advertising agency that submitted this ad to the network, if the advertising agency knew that it was obscene or it was promoting obscene or prohibited content, then the ad agency themselves can get in trouble. And if the network saw that it was promoting obscene or inappropriate language and they allowed it to go on air, the network itself can be dinged by the FCC. However, it's very likely that in this situation, both the advertising company and the broadcast company, who's Fox, will say, and actually Fox has said, that at the time that the ad was submitted to them, they checked the website. The website was the usual Yeezy website. There was no issue there. So they did their due diligence, and they had no reason to believe that Kanye was going to make this insane switch during the Super Bowl. What are the potential legal actions that can be taken? Well, the FCC can investigate the networks and the ad agency for the potential violations for indecency or obscenity regulations. They can impose fines and penalties on the network if they believe that the network knew that they were going to be in violation of these regulations. Now, if the FCC does decide that the network didn't do enough to make sure that Kanye wasn't doing this, maybe the FCC decides that Kanye was a lightning rod enough and that Kanye lately has been saying too many troubling things so that the network should have known. If that's an issue, and if the FCC then fines the network for that, the FCC will very, very likely turn around and sue Kanye for the damages there. They can sue them for the exact amount that they were fined, but I would imagine that the FCC would also, that the network would also sue Kanye for the damages to their brand for hoodwinking them and allowing that advertisement to be shown during something that we all know is good quality family time usually. Who else can take legal action based on that advertisement? Well, civil rights organizations could get involved. They can pursue legal action under state or federal hate speech laws if the ad is seen as promoting or inciting violence. And the civil rights organizations themselves can file complaints with the FCC and other regulatory bodies to pressure them to give penalties to the network and to Kanye himself. Private individuals or groups can also take legal action if they felt like they were harmed by the promotion of the hate symbols, or if they accessed the website and were offended themselves by the content that they saw, which they weren't expecting. Who could be held liable? Kanye West could be held liable if he's sued individually. The broadcasting networks can be sued. And Yeezy, the company, can be sued if people in the chain of command besides Kanye West knew that this was an action that was going to be taken and they didn't do anything to stop it or they approved it. There's also ad approval entities like departments within the network itself that can be under scrutiny. They could be internally investigated, and there can be legal consequences on those departments themselves as well. So what is this case really all about? It's an intersection between commercial and free speech, First Amendment rights, and the legal limits on protecting hate symbols. Kanye's actions might be protected in some contexts, Kanye West himself, but commercial speech has fewer protections, especially when it ventures into dangerous territory like this. The FCC, civil rights groups, and even private individuals have the potential for taking legal action against Kanye, against the broadcast networks, against anybody that they think might be involved in putting this out there on the air. It's a PR disaster, it's a legal minefield, and it's just another day in the life of Kanye West. Today, we broke down Kanye West's $8 million Super Bowl ad promoting his Yeezy line, which did a bait and switch and really was promoting $20 t-shirts with a Nazi symbol on it. We found out that free speech is less regulated than commercial speech, and that commercial speech is regulated by the FCC, and that the FCC can investigate the broadcast networks, they can investigate Kanye West, they can investigate the ad agencies, and they can take civil and legal action against all of those entities. We learned that civil rights groups or private individuals can get involved in this legal battle. They can get injunctive relief, meaning they can get rulings by a court to tell Kanye and the broadcast companies to stop airing this, or they can get civil damages. They can get monetary damages in order to prove a point and to stop Kanye from doing things like this again. It's not just another Kanye controversy. This is a conversation and a test about how far free speech can go when it comes to commerce and where commerce and hate speech collide.